Just give me a few minutes, everyone. Here, there we go.
What's up?
I'm just sending out the link to everyone. Give me a few minutes.
Fantastic. How many folks we got?
We'll find out when I send it out because I haven't formalized the notifications and everything yet.
Oh, true. Yeah. So we're talking Trek?
Yeah, and I'll explain why once I get this thing going.
Okie dokie. Yeah. There.
One second. All right, one more. Go, my good God.
What?
Instagram is just porn. Like my Instagram is always full of porn.
It's just porn.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Okay. You are I think you'd enjoy this. So, for my Christmas family party, we always have a Yankee swap.
Nice.
And I don't know, like lately my two cousins have been coming and bringing their kids, and like I feel like my family sucks at being inclusive to them.
Yeah, makes sense. Well, it
At the
doesn't make
same
sense, but you know.
at the same time, they're also not great with like everyone preparing for like. I mean, like for example, one of the gifts was like a chocolate penis.
Give me 1 second. Hang on.
Okay, in a turtleneck.
Sorry, I forgot to grab my glass of water.
Oh, that's fine. So
All right, continue.
yeah, so like a couple years ago, the first time they show up, my aunt brings like a chocolate penis, and that's the gift.
Nice.
And it's like, I don't know, they're not doing it on purpose, but they're just being lame to me. So I'm like, all right. Do you know what's another lame thing boomers like to do on Christmas?
What's that?
Talk about that one movie 20 million times. Can you guess what movie?
A Christmas Story?
Yep.
Yeah.
So guess what I got for the Yankee swap?
Hey, it is a good movie to watch once or twice. I don't need to watch it every year, but
okay, yeah, you know what? You're right. I'm jaded on it at this point.
Yeah.
Plus, my family did one of the wildest things I've ever seen. So, my oldest cousin Mitchell is married to a fantastic woman from South Korea.
Okay.
So, like, one of the first years he brings her back, and like a big thing is like when you leave New England and you come back, everyone always wants Chinese food.
Yeah.
So like we all take them out for Chinese food at the Singapore right before it started sucking. So tell me how my aunt and uncle decide this is the time when we are going to recreate that one scene.
Oh no.
They sang it.
Oh no.
Yes. And I'm sitting there like, guys, you can't do that.
With the accents?
No. Yeah. Yeah. In front of the wait staff and my cousin and his wife.
No.
I'm just sitting there like, this movie has rotted all of your brains.
In front of his South Korean wife.
Like, bro, we're cooked. We're cooked, guys.
Oh, that's so sad. Oh, God.
So, yeah, anyways, family's always interesting, you could say.
Yeah. People are very strange these days. Howdy, Wadley. Thank you for joining. We have a guest. This is Nick.
Hi,
Nick
Wadley.
will probably be a regular contributor, assuming that his schedule works out.
It should. It should.
Yeah, Wadley's an old friend. I'm not saying his real name in case he doesn't want it out there, but he's an old friend.
Such is the way.
So the reason I invited Nick tonight, hang on, let me actually share my screen, is because Nick is possibly the biggest fan I've ever met of this property, not specifically the original series, but of the franchise in general.
Yes. Yeah, I love me some Trek.
So here's what happened. So
Okay.
for the last several years, and also yes, it is a great old blue. So for the last several years, I've been essentially perpetually a week or so behind on all my YouTube shit. Basically since I played Red Dead Redemption 2.
Okay.
So whenever I was bored, it was always like, oh, go fucking whittle down some of that YouTube shit.
True.
And I finally caught up. And nobody, because I watched live streamers, none of them were on yesterday. So I had nothing to do last night. And I was bored. I was looking for something to do. I didn't feel like reading a book. I didn't feel like doing something I had to really actively engage in because I had plenty of books. I felt like doing something I could do while I got high. And so I was like, all right, I've put it off long enough. I am restarting Star Trek. So here's, and Nick, I think I've told you this before, but for, oh, sorry, hang on. That was the wrong thing. So for those of you who might not know, when I got into Star Trek, it was before streaming television existed. So I was limited to what I could rent from Blockbuster or find on random TV.
The Dark Ages.
So that's why I've seen all of the Star Trek movies and all of Next Gen and all of Enterprise and nothing else. Well, I've seen like most of the original series.
I'm just gonna go on the record and say that you need to see Deep Space Nine.
I was about to say that. Nick is
no one's putting me on a cross. I'm saying it first. No.
I will watch Deep Space Nine after I finish Next Gen.
It's needed. It's required viewing.
Yeah, from what little I have seen of it, it is really good. It is the kind of shit that I'm into with Star Trek.
It's like OG Star Trek is campy and lovely. Next Gen Star Trek is, oh, you guys are taking this seriously. I guess we kind of got to work on some lore and stuff. Deep Space Nine is, all right, the old man's not watching us anymore. Let's talk about space genocide. Let's talk about the police. Like, what? Enterprise is Scott Bakula's here. I don't really know what else to tell you.
I remember some point back in the day you said it's thanks to Star Trek you appreciate green women. That is true.
Ooh, the
Star Trek did lead me to appreciate the Technicolor ladies. So anyway, I'm fucking packing up my bowl, and I'm like, fuck it, I'm starting Star Trek over again because it's easier to just start over than it is to fill in the gaps.
True.
So I went all the way back to The Cage, the original pilot, the one that NBC rejected, that we thought was lost for decades until we finally found it by accident in the late 80s.
That's the first Christopher Pike, I think? Yes. Okay.
It's technically the only episode with him because the two-parter, The Menagerie, is mostly a clip show of the old pilot.
True. I guess I more mean that like now we have what is it? Strange New World?
Anson Mount, yeah.
Pike's back, baby.
Yeah, it's technically The Cage is also the pilot episode of Strange New Worlds.
Yeah, it's great. No, it's great. It's almost like Star Trek cares about its continuity. It's great.
It does and it doesn't.
Yeah.
That's one thing I'll get into in a bit.
Is it the time travel?
Well, that too, but no, I just started this, so I've only seen the first like 4 episodes on this viewing.
Okay.
Well, 3 plus The Cage, let's say. Like okay. I just 5 minutes before I got on stream got done watching Where No Man Has Gone Before.
Okay.
So the reason I said yes and no to the continuity thing, when you're, as with many TV shows, when you're watching the early episodes, you can tell which details they hadn't worked out yet.
Yeah, the Vulcans have a little bit of a questionable intro with some things.
Well, I'm
We
not
didn't know
even
what to
getting into
do.
that. I just mean the fact that, like, in the cage, Spock is just a normal ass dude.
Yeah.
Like, he smiles and makes jokes and shit. Um, and then with Where No Man Has Gone Before, even though it aired third, it was produced as the second pilot. And that's another one. Like, they had, like, Sulu was there, but they hadn't worked out what his job was yet.
It's
He
just
appears to be like a scientist, not the helmsman. Um, fucking Scotty's literally just credited as engineer.
TOS has problems like this, man.
Well, it was only that one episode, and after that, they pieced it together.
Oh, by the way, if we're talking about problems with TOS, we should probably just go on the record and throw this out there. The Ferengi were a problem for a long time. They're debatably still a problem. It depends on how you look at it.
I didn't even remember the Ferengi were in TOS.
I want to say that they're in TOS. Am I tripping? I thought they were there.
They might be. I haven't watched the whole thing yet. If they're not, either way, yeah, you are right. The Ferengi can be used in some problematic ways. They don't have to be, but they can.
I think their original design is just a bit too much stolen from a certain type of poster.
Yeah, a little. Well, what are you gonna do? It was the '60s and or '80s, depending on which one of us is correct.
I mean, it's
TNG did have that one episode that was so racist the cast tried to refuse to do it, but it was season 1 and they didn't have the power to say no.
is that the Africa planet?
Yep.
Africa planet. Yes, it's it's bad. It's very bad.
Dude, even the brand new, not yet confident in their staying power actors were like, "This is racist as fuck, dude."
And I mean, they let TOS get away with having I think it's Plato shows up, or no, it's the god Zeus. He's like a negress.
Yeah, doesn't Lincoln do that too? Or maybe I'm thinking of the same episode.
I think he turns into a few people. He just kind of
Yeah, he does.
yeah.
Oh,
He
hang
likes
on,
doing that.
Wadley's got an answer for us. The Ferengi were introduced in TNG, from what I remember, or at least in the context of TNG. They hadn't met the Ferengi lore-wise until that episode. Okay, that makes sense.
Okay, absolutely. Thank you, Wadley.
Yeah. Thank you very much. So, fucking yeah. So anyway, in Where No Man Has Gone Before, like they had most of the characters, but they hadn't worked out who they were just yet. It also she dies, so it's just a guest appearance. The doctor lady in that episode is fucking Hot Lips Houlihan from MASH before she was Hot Lips Houlihan. I was like, oh shit, that's weird.
I didn't expect to get more MASH references today, but I'm not disappointed.
You've had more today?
On a near daily basis, my dad will just sit in the kitchen and watch reruns of MASH.
I've never actually seen the show. I've only seen the original movie, but I need to watch the show at some point.
It's okay. I just have to ask this: like, where are they in relation to the front of this war? Like, where are they?
Is why the fuck did the Korean War last like 13 years in this timeline?
I mean, because America.
Yeah. Anyway, back to Star Trek. Back to another 60s TV show, or 70s, I guess. So, I actually have to eat a little bit of crow on one thing that I was wrong about.
What is that?
When the 2009 Star Trek movie came out, I and many other people felt that the Spock Uhura romance came out of left field.
What? No.
Yeah, so
that's classic.
It's because I hadn't seen much of the original series at the time. I was wrong. Uhura so badly wants to fuck Spock.
She's down bad, bro. The way she looks at him, like when he walks out of rooms and things.
She wants that Spock.
Like, it's so great because even like after learning about Pon farr, she's like,
okay. Well, he can fuck at other times. I think he just doesn't need to.
Yeah, no, I guess it's more just like that. If that don't scare you away, you down bad. Like,
also, it is worth noting in that episode that Spock's fucking like boner rage dissipates after he fist fights Kirk. and I'm sure there is no symbolic significance to that.
But they're bros.
Yeah, then that they are roommates, and that's all they are, of course, because it's 1966, and we can't show that shit on TV.
No, I just mean like Spock's from a culture that's named after ancient Greeks. Like they can be bros, and that's like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, so I'm eating some crow. I was wrong. Uhura and Spock make more sense as a couple than I thought they did.
it's just nice that they gave it to us. I think is what it was.
I also respectfully disagree with George Takei on one thing.
What's up?
Sulu was fucking gay from the very first second he appeared.
Is it the way he talks?
It's not so much the way he talks, because he just kind of talks like a guy. The reason I say that is because, again, out of order, fucking pilot aired third for whatever reason. So when Sulu, in terms of air date, first appears, I don't remember if it's literally the first scene he's in, but the first scene where he has any substantive dialogue, he is in the botany section of the ship, caring for some plants, and then fucking
Oh, bro, you
Yeoman
like
Rand.
plants? That's gay.
Well, that's not gay, but Yeoman Rand, who, to quote Gary Oldman in True Romance, is a fine centerfold bitch. She walks in, and then he has like they're clearly friends and clearly exclusively platonic friends. Even though she's like this gorgeous young woman who's probably one of the only ones on the ship.
Friends with women?
And he's just like very casually talking to her while caring for plants, while talking like George Takei does. I'm sorry, I can't be the only one to notice it.
I mean, what if he was in any sort of relationship with any other person?
Yeah, I know. I just had to make a joke.
Oh well, no fair. I mean, well, anything involving George Takei is just always gay. But
Yeah, well, he's somewhere. There's a somewhat memorable line in Star Trek Generations where I think it's the Enterprise B or whatever, is being captained by Sulu's daughter. And Kirk kind of jokes, I didn't know Sulu had time to have a family. And so we don't, like, in the original timeline, I don't think we know who Sulu's partner of either gender is.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, if it were later Star Trek, I'd get on the argument that like having a child in no way means you had that child. But
Well, yeah.
Star Trek is limited because Roddenberry is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so the only this is a different timeline, of course, so things can be different. But in the third J.J. Abrams one, Star Trek Beyond, he is explicitly okay, he's not explicitly gay, but he gets off the ship on shore leave, and there's another Asian dude standing there with a little girl who runs up and says "Daddy," and then hugs him, and then he and the other Asian dude walk away arm in arm. Like, maybe they had to keep it a little bit implied for, like, Chinese audiences or whatever, but, like, no, Sulu's fucking gay, at least in the new timeline.
Gotta love the appealing to Chinese audiences. That's.
I might be cynically saying that, and they just didn't.
I mean, it's closer to reality than I'd like it to be, so I have to consider it.
Yeah, I don't know how big Star Trek is in China.
Okay, Star Trek Beyond. That's the one with the alien who keeps singing "Fight the Power" by Public Enemy, right?
I don't know. I know that they use "Sabotage" by the Beast Boys as a sound weapon in that movie, but I don't remember them doing "Fight the Power." But I haven't seen it in like 9 years, so maybe
it's the one that like they're like in like the alien slave camp thing.
Maybe again, I haven't seen it since like 2017. So
I remember there's the original where Kirk on a motorcycle. There's the second one. Oh, Benedict Cumberbatch is here. Cool.
And he's Khan for some reason.
And he's Khan. Well, it's messed up, but the older I get, the more I'm kind of like, it's not out of place to see after a long period of time the purposeful whitening of cultures. So maybe Khan does still look like that. I don't know.
So have you read the prelude comic book to that movie?
No.
So in that one, it's all about the backstory of this version of Khan, right?
Okay.
And one thing I really like about it, in contrast to other Star Trek, is that they just embrace alternate history. They just say, yeah, in 1993, a global war broke out called the Eugenics War, and
Yeah,
like they just lean into it.
it
But
just happened.
whenever they have the scenes of Khan back in that era, or really just before the events of the movie, he's drawn like Ricardo Montalban.
Ha!
And what happened was that when they put him in that pod, in order to disguise his identity, they gave him like fucked up sci-fi plastic surgery to make him look like the guy he was impersonating. So
Sounds about
that's why
right.
he looks different in this
I like
timeline.
this.
Well, I was wondering that because the timeline, the point of Divergence is the attack on the Kelvin from the opening of the '09
Yes.
movie, and Khan was born like centuries before that.
Therefore, he should just
Khan
look
should
like
be the
that.
same in both timelines.
Okay, if we're gonna play this game, in both timelines, there exists crews who engage in time travel. Does
Yeah.
the time travel okay, so if we're going up and we split like a Y, and then I go to before the point of digress, are we making another branch off the branch?
Well, see, that's the thing. Time travel is inherently stupid, and any franchise that embraces it has to understand that it's never going to make sense. So I'm just saying yes.
Yeah, yeah. It's just there's primer and everything's dumb.
The general, like, because Star Trek is, any franchise that's been around for 6 decades is going to be rife with small continuity errors. Star Trek's, or sometimes large continuity errors. Star Trek's attitude appears to be fuck it, people time travel, and sometimes that creates ripples. So anytime you notice a mistake, it was time travel.
Yeah, don't worry about it. It just happens. Something you have to look forward to when you watch Deep Space Nine, and one of my personal favorite things about Star Trek. So you're watching TOG, or TOS. So you're obviously going to see the tribbles.
Yeah, I've actually seen that episode because I've seen most of TOS before. Not like every single one, but most of it. So I've seen the Tribble one, and I know that Deep Space Nine time travels back to the Tribble one.
So much footage used in such creative ways.
Yeah, like I know they did the fucking like Forrest Gump put Cisco in the old shot thing. From what I heard, they even got like old '60s era camera lenses and shit so that it would look the
It,
same.
it just matches. And as a bonus, do you know Jadzia Dax?
Yes.
Her in the TOS outfit, and they go out of her way where she's like, I don't mind. Ooh, look at that. Yeah.
Nice.
And we're like, yes, more.
I'm more exhausted by the reception of trying to make sense of time travel adaptation more than the adapting of time travel itself. Like you said, it will never make sense. And because I agree and I can still enjoy Deja Vu. Yeah, okay. Thank you, Wadley.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's fucking what was I just thinking of about that? Oh yeah, so I know that you don't have like the fondest thoughts on Enterprise, but did you see the whole series?
I want to say there was a couple episodes I missed, but yeah.
Did you see the Mirrorverse one?
Yes.
Yeah, so in that one, like for the audience who might not know, the Mirrorverse version of this crew travels through both time and dimensions and winds up in the main universe around the era of TOS, and they wind up taking
Great.
over like the Enterprise's sister ship. And my God, is it surreal to see the original, a very accurate recreation of the original series set design rendered via what were considered for the time high definition cameras. So that is really fucking surreal. Like Archer's
Yeah.
wearing that one like hideous green shirt that they put Kirk in.
Oh, it's supposed to be gold. No, it's green. It's green. That's how cameras work. Like,
yeah, in fact, the shirts in Star Trek, like the normal Kirk shirt, is the same color as that. It's just made of a different material, so it shines as gold in the like in the finished film. I haven't seen Enterprise yet, but I remember as a kid there was an episode with Nazis which seemed compelling, but I don't know much more about it. Well, there's episodes with Nazis in every Star Trek, Nazis or something like them. But yes, I remember the Enterprise episode you're thinking of in particular.
which one was it? Is that the Nazi planet? No.
That was the original series. No, there's an episode of Enterprise where one of the alien, I think the Xindi, in desperation, they're like, "Fuck it, we're doing time travel now." So they pull a Terminator, or they try to.
They pull a Terminator.
By the way,
I mean,
regarding the small continuity errors thing, one that I just noticed in this, in No Man Has Gone Before, is that when the all-powerful God version of Gary Mitchell creates like the fake Kirk headstone, it says James R. Kirk, not James T. Kirk.
isn't that like the timeline difference thing?
It could be that, but they also, like, in some fucking Star Trek book or whatever, came up with an explanation that the R is like an old joke of theirs from the Academy, that like he claimed his middle name was Rutabaga or something.
I I almost hate stories about Kirk at the Academy because like he just sounds like a nerd most of the time.
Yeah, hang on, I'm gonna pull up Memory Alpha so that I can confirm what the explanation was.
Oh, also, since we're talking Star Trek, shout out Lucille Ball.
Oh yeah, who yeah, so she is the one who talked them into giving it another pilot. And here's what I found out today. They spent in 1965 money, they spent $630,000 on the cage.
A lot of that was her money, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
It really shows how much things cost back when the labor laws were strong and you had to actually pay your fucking crew.
I guess you could say they had some splaining to do to the
Yeah.
accountant.
Yeah. Yes, very funny.
I can feel
I'd
your
laugh
pain.
harder at that if I wasn't trying to find something. Come on, man. Where are you?
You can do it.
Where are you, you son of a bitch? Come on. I can find you, you bastard. I literally read this like an hour ago on this same fucking website. Here it is. Okay, an alternate explanation for the James R. Kirk reference is given in Peter David's novel Q Squared, which suggests that the events of this episode take place in a parallel universe where Kirk's middle initial is indeed
Yeah.
R.
Yeah.
This same book suggests that Gary Mitchell's godlike powers were a result of him being temporarily possessed by Q, and the powers simply drove Mitchell insane.
I hate Q so much.
Oh, okay, this is what I was looking for. Another explanation for the R comes from Michael Jan Friedman's three-part novel series My Brother's Keeper. In it, Kirk claims his middle name to be Racquetball to Mitchell upon an early meeting. Later, Mitchell changes it to Rhinoceros after Kirk steamrolls through a conversation. The grave is thus explained by Kirk as an in-joke. Okay.
Nice. Nice.
Oh, I
Okay.
should actually put that on screen so that people know I didn't just make that shit up.
Let's see here. Lucille Ball. R. Kelly. Secrets of the Freemasons. Lines up.
I actually did read this this comic here that they're referencing. Like way back in the day when I was a kid.
I don't really have much experience with a lot of the Star Trek comics.
Yeah, I don't know why that just took a screenshot. Fuck you. I didn't want you to do that. Yeah, there are a lot of Star Trek comics, and I haven't read almost all of them. I've read bits here and there, mostly about the 09 movie because that's what was at the store when I was a kid. I do remember reading somewhere that when the first movie came out in the late 70s, they did a comic to tie into it. And in one of the issues, I don't think it's the Enterprise's computer. I think it's like the one at Federation HQ, but it literally uses fucking punch cards for data entry in like the 23rd century.
There's an argument to be made that that'll be more secure considering all the weird tech people they have in their society.
Maybe that's why they do it. I don't know. But I piss myself laughing at the fact that in the cage, when they get the audio transcript of the radio broadcast, the computer prints out a physical paper copy that they pass around.
All the tech in that era is dumb, and I love it.
Yeah, I really love like they call it Zerust. That's what TV Tropes calls it. Like things that were once futuristic that are now dated by accident. Like it's really charming.
Don't they have to like manually use their elevator? in their spaceship, the TOS?
They grab the handle for it, but it's not clear if you have to do that to make it go, or if it's a stability handle.
Well, because like they don't do the voice activation thing. Because like people will just walk in and silently do it.
Yeah,
So it
I
has to be
guess so.
controlled via that way. Because like later they'll just be like bridge.
Yeah, because like in the ones I watched yesterday and today, yeah, Kirk does hold the handle when he's in the elevator, but I think in later episodes they don't have to hold it to make it move, so I don't know.
It just always makes me think of those like old New York elevators with
Yeah, with the operator.
Yeah. Very
Um,
George Jetson-y.
yeah, I don't know. I love that old sci-fi flavoring.
I mean, ironically, it is Fallout Day.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. And just 2 days ago, it was Back to the Future Day.
I don't know. Isn't every day Back to the Future Day?
Well, true, but the date that Marty specifically goes to in Back to the Future 2 is October 21st.
Okay.
And it was the 10th anniversary of the date he would have traveled to as well.
I want to say today was like 25 or from like 3 or something like that.
My dream is to ride one of those old elevators run by some dude. Well, just go to any sufficiently go to any sufficiently old building, and you can do that, Alex.
But is it as satisfying when you're getting that dude to do it? You know, like I want to call me like Mr. Guy in a turtleneck. Where would you like to
True.
go?
By the way, shit, I'm losing my train of thought. Fucking hell, what was I thinking? Goddamn elevator operators. All right.
There's an elevator and the operator.
Yeah, I got distracted because I spent this past weekend in a hotel for my friend's wedding, and it was one of the fancy pants new ones where the elevator has buttons.
These newfangled kids in their elevators with buttons.
Yeah, these goddamn fucking Gen Alpha skibbities.
Back in my day, we had rotary elevators, like they were
Back in my
invented.
day, we just climbed up the ladder.
You guys had ladders.
Yeah.
Had to tie a rope to my waist and then just throw a rock over a pulley system. Hope for the best.
Back in my day, we had to boost each other onto each other's shoulders to get to the second floor.
Back in my day, we just lifted ourselves up by our bootstraps the entire way.
Seriously. I don't know if you're being sarcastic, Alex, because those elevators were extremely fast. Like they were so fast my ears popped because I was on the 22nd floor. If I went from the ground floor straight to 22, like my ears would pop.
Don't put a pregnant woman in the elevator. Got it.
True. Back in my day, we would Mission Impossible our way up the side of the building. I'd rather do that, honestly. At least that's exciting. Oh, that's what you meant. Yeah, they did stop on every floor. Yeah, because, well, almost like it's a hotel and there's other people there who need to go to different floors. That does happen.
Ew.
Alex was also a guest at this wedding. That's why he knows.
Other people don't exist. What do you mean?
Yeah, I know, right? They're all hallucinations. In real life, I'm sitting in a padded cell writing on the wall and shit. I'm writing about Star Trek.
Kirk, Pike, Kirk, Pike, Kirk.
Oh,
Pike.
okay. I remember what I was thinking.
There we go.
You remember the Plinkett reviews back in the day, like from Red Letter Media?
Yes.
So the most famous ones are about the Star Wars prequels, but he did many others. In fact, his first review as Plinkett was Star Trek Generations. And eventually he did the 09 Star Trek movie, and he made an observation that has never left my head since, which is that the J.J. Abrams Star Trek movie is based less on Star Trek and more on what the average person thinks Star Trek looks like. And he is so right.
Is there a single replicator in that movie?
I don't think so, but to be fair,
I'm thinking about this.
Well, the replicators weren't heavily featured in the original series either, so.
Well, they should have been.
Well, okay, so like I'm thinking of one episode where they had like a time displaced dude or whatever, and he said something about like, oh man, I could go for a bowl of chicken soup. And then one of them just like walks over to the corner, presses some buttons on a little thingy, and then in like 45 seconds later, a drawer opens with a bowl of soup.
Yeah, they got buttons, man. There's no voice activation.
Yeah, well, in next gen and subsequent shows, they had the replicators.
And it all had that like nice computer voice, which is the lady from TOS.
Yeah, she's played like 50 different Star Trek characters.
Pretty sure she's like Gene Roddenberry's wife or something.
Yeah, so that was part of why they rejected the cage. Because it was the mid '60s and sexism. They didn't love the fact that a woman was first officer of the ship. And it also doesn't help that due to the nature of the cage's plot, the captain is marooned on the planet, so the first officer is in command of the ship for most of the episode. So they didn't love that fact. They didn't love how like kind of computer logical she was, and they also really didn't love the fact that she was played by Gene Roddenberry's girlfriend, with whom he was openly cheating on his wife.
Man did not care.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you could argue that Gene Roddenberry was an early adopter of polyamory because he either that or he was just an asshole because he could not keep his fucking dick in his pants if you put a gun to his head.
I'm gonna take door number 2, considering all the racism, all the weird homophobia, and like everything else. Like, I mean,
well, the reason I say maybe the polyamory thing is because at least his second wife seemed okay with it. Or at least she put up with it for like 4 decades, so.
man, I don't know. That just sounds like one of those stories you hear from like your great grandparents. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, she just put up with it, so I just kept doing it. Like,
yeah, so like I don't know if she just begrudgingly tolerated it or like if she also like was okay with it as like Alex said, like the creator of Wonder Woman. Though in his case that actually was like a 3-person polyamorous relationship.
I mean, think about the character of Wonder Woman and how like progressive and like awesome that is. That makes sense to come from the mind of someone in polyamory.
Yeah, so I don't know, like because Roddenberry, because while he was married to his first wife, he was openly cheating on her with Majel Barrett, who would eventually be his second wife. And then at one point, he was also involved with Nichelle Nichols, who broke it off because she didn't want to be the other woman to the other woman.
Jesus Christ.
And then after he married Majel Barrett, he had another ongoing affair from like 1978 till he died. So he liked fucking multiple women, and she stayed with him for like decades. So clearly,
I've never heard of men in power abusing that to keep their.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Like,
no. I don't know. Assuming that she wasn't trapped in that fucking marriage, which I'd like to think she wasn't. I guess she was okay with it.
While we're on the subject of Kirk being on the planet or Pike being on the planet, I'm curious about this. What's your take on Riker's opinion and how they switch him to TNG? Where he's like, no, you don't get off the boat, dude. I don't let you leave. I don't care what you want. You can't leave. Meanwhile, Kirk.
Which episode this is?
Oh, that's like every other time Picard wants to go to like off the boat.
Oh,
Riker's like, you can't get off the boat. But Kirk is always like, I'm going to get off the boat. Spock goes, you can't get off the boat. And Kirk goes, okay, buddy, I'm leaving. I'll talk to you later.
That's part of why so like when they were designing Next Gen, you'll notice that Riker's sole job is being the first officer.
Yeah.
And as opposed to, like, because Spock was first officer in addition to being chief of science and everything. But Riker's sole job is being first officer. The reason why was because a ton of people during the run of the original series and then afterwards in syndication were like, why the fuck is the captain going on these dangerous away missions?
I like the headcanon that like, oh no, you're not supposed to. That is the whole Kirk thing though. He just leaves the boat all the time.
That's kind of what they decided with Next Gen was either that or just like, all right, well, it's been 100 years. Starfleet has better safety protocols. But
Nope, absolutely they do not.
Yeah.
Absolutely they do not. I think after the fact, it's nice because we can kind of see the definitive, like there are real big character differences every time we switch ships, and I think it really gives a good flavor. Like, sorry to pull up my Weird Al card, but the only question that I ever thought was hard was, do I like Kirk or do I like Picard?
I'm gonna grab something. You can keep talking though.
Oh, okay. I mean, I think it really comes down to, do you prefer the order of Picard where he makes sure that Starfleet's rules and integrity are followed to a T, or do you like the idea of Kirk with a personal motivation that overwhelms that? It just wins out every time. Kirk will do what Kirk do.
So I read a really interesting, and I hate to fucking say this because of its reputation, but really interesting Tumblr post of all things.
Was this during the porn times or the sad times?
I don't know. It's a text only post.
Oh, sad times.
And yes, it's not so much that I prefer Picard necessarily, but I do love him, man. He's such a great character.
If it came to the two, I'd take Picard up until I find out what he did at that one planet with the crack addicts, and then I would throw him off the ship myself. I can't stand him at that point.
Yeah. So I read this really interesting Tumblr post talking about how kind of the thing that I said, where the people people with a casual knowledge of Star Trek think that Kirk is like this womanizing cowboy. In reality, he's, like you said, a book nerd, and he only fucks like 4 times in the whole series.
On the flip side, Picard, if you look at the backstory, that dude fucks.
Yeah, so that's what the post was about, was the fact that Picard's backstory is actually much more similar to what people think Kirk's was like.
The amount of times Picard just showed up to a place and it's like, yeah, no, I got into a bar fight over there. That was cool.
Yeah. So the next person adds to this post with something really interesting where they said part of it is their first officers. Everyone looks like a fucking cowboy womanizer standing next to Spock. Whereas everyone looks like a dignified statesman standing next to Riker.
Compared to Riker, I will fuck anything on any amount of legs.
And that's not only funny, but it's also interesting because that's what makes them great characters. Like, Kirk didn't pick Spock to be first officer for no reason. He picked him because he's very different.
Yeah, he balances them.
Yeah.
They always get one that balances each other.
I mean, you notice in Next Gen that Riker, I hate to say it because I love him, he's a better first officer than he is a captain.
I feel like we never get the chance to see Riker outside of Picard's shadow.
Well, yeah, that's part of it.
Pretty much I mean, plus like New Trek has him doing stuff sometimes.
Yeah, I actually have not seen any Star Trek stuff other than the movies post Enterprise. So like, first of all, Voyager. That's gonna be a fun time for you. By the way, these things are fucking dangerous.
What are they?
They are chocolates.
Chocolates?
Yes. And they are dangerous because they are the kind of chocolates that you're not supposed to eat a ton of at once, but they taste really good and you want to eat a ton of them at once.
I heard you say they are the chocolates you want to eat a bunch of at once, and you should eat a bunch of them at once.
No, they're the kind that if you eat the whole bar, you will, like, die. But it tastes really good, so you want to eat the whole bar. And Alex is kind of right that the best Star Trek is the Orville. Or he said best season, but...
Valid take.
I'm watching Voyager now. It's been tough to leave my beloved TNG crew. Yeah, that's true.
It's hard. And like, it's not even like you like get to pop in or see what anyone's doing because you're so far out. It feels so separated from everything.
Yeah, like I remember noticing my autistic ass noticing that Voyager doesn't switch to the new uniforms because they're out on the other side of like the Omniverse.
That's right. They're just out there. There's a couple characters in Voyager that are just like timeless.
Yeah.
Harry Kim is like the eternal ensign, and
I
it's
see
great.
memes of him like once a day.
He's just Ensign Harry Kim. Like you are forever Ensign Harry Kim, bro. You get nothing more.
I love how so like the original series, like we were talking about earlier, establishes that the eugenics wars took place in the 90s.
Yes.
And that's still part of the lore, but then there's also an episode of Voyager where they time travel to late 90s San Francisco, and it's just like totally fine. Even though there's a global conflict going on.
Oh, wait, hold on. Are you telling me that people in California are able to ignore global conflicts? That is not, no.
Oh, yeah.
No way. Yeah, no way.
But the
no
way
way.
they talk about it, they imply that, like, the planet's civilization was disrupted.
It's all, I always find it, like, hard to nail down exactly what they mean. Because, like, hell, it's like, then you go and see when Cochrane's making his warp drive, and it looks really like a shitty place.
Yeah.
Like, I think it just kind of depends on the day.
What was with the new uniforms in the movies, or is that just because the budget is higher? I'm sure that's part of it, but also they do periodically change the Star Trek uniforms. I don't know why, because I always like a uniform and then they change it.
I think they got caught with the first thing with the color, and they're like, never again. We will always be ahead.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember when did they, because I know that Deep Space Nine had different Voyagers from different uniforms from Next Gen. And the initial version of those uniforms are what's in Voyager, but somewhere along the way, Deep Space Nine switched. That might have just been because of the movies. That might have just been because of like the First Contact movie.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, also there's
Generations
governmental
'94 was awful with the costume and wardrobe. Generations was awful for many reasons.
Yeah.
Still got to watch Star Trek on the whole. Only ever watched the movies and the episodes that people say are classics. Yeah, I mean, I will say it's a good fucking series. Like I was really impressed with this because everyone you hear, even fucking Shatner did this. You know, when did Star Trek get political? And then anyone who watched Star Trek is like, you were
What?
there, dude.
Like it's Star Trek. What do you mean? Like it's
literally in terms of air date. That is the first episode of Star Trek has a scene where they tell the story of the massacre of the buffalo. In order to discuss the ethics of allowing the last member of a species to die.
Star Trek was never political. What do you mean?
Yeah, I
never
know.
political.
Like, literally the first fucking episode, they bring up the Buffalo Massacre. And yes, I agree that the upgraded TNG uniforms from season 3 onward were also my favorite.
I'd say yes, except when I get in horn dog mode, and I'm like, but the TOS uniforms, man, come on.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's the only time I switch on that, but
yeah, I don't know if it's just because they're the ones I primarily grew up with, but the TOS and TNG uniforms are my favorites. I also like them in Enterprise because in Enterprise they're really purposefully primitive.
Yeah. Enterprise just wearing spacesuits with extra steps.
Yeah, like in Enterprise, like they with the set design, they had a lot more of like visible rivets. Like that they made it aesthetically much more similar to like a submarine.
Yeah. Now that you mention it, yeah.
Well, it's because how do you do a prequel to a thing that looked high tech and now isn't? Like the way you do it is you have to go further back in time. That is why that led to the unfortunate development that the communicators in Enterprise are the handheld ones are smaller than the ones in the original series.
I don't know if that's realistic or unrealistic because if you think about it, there was a time where we wanted to make all the gadgets smaller. Like look at this iPod that's like this big.
And then we developed the ability to watch porn on them, and suddenly we wanted them to be bigger again.
Give me a tablet. Give me a tablet right now. Like,
it's like in that early episode of Futurama where Amy pulls out her cell phone, and the joke is that cell phones have gotten so small she has to use a toothpick and a magnifying glass to press the keys.
Oh, Matt Groening.
Yeah. Yeah, what was I thinking of with these original series episodes, though? That was... Oh, by the way, it's weird to see a time when Shatner wasn't fat.
There could be said that it would be weird to conceive of a time when...
By the way, he's a better actor than he gets credit for. And
yeah, no, he's absolutely...
because he's fucking insufferable, but...
Okay, like, I think this is one of those great examples of we don't like a celebrity, and so we go back and try to rewrite their work. And, like...
It's only political when it's progressive, never when it's conservative. How convenient. True.
Truth.
Yeah, because, like, I mean, Shatner, don't get me wrong, the way he talks is, you know...
Well, he had to. I mean, you know why, right?
I think so. Hang on. Was that his real hair in TOS? I think it was. Tell the story of why he talks like that.
So when they originally wrote the scripts, it wasn't long enough.
Yeah.
It just flat out was not long enough, and they're like, what do we do? And Shatner's like, I've been on stage. I have a way to do this. I'll just talk really slowly.
So he does a lot of, and this is obviously a lot more notice. So part of the issues with Star Trek in general is that it was the mid-'60s, so it was designed to be watched on a 20-inch screen that was probably black and white. So something that would have been really hard to appreciate in 1966, but is much easier when you're watching it on a 55-inch HD TV. Shatner does a lot of face acting. Well, so that's the thing. He does it way subtler than that. Like, he does a lot of, like, one little look of his eyes to tell you what he's thinking.
Him and like Leonard Nimoy got such a good way of talking with their eyes, like, halfway through.
Yeah. By the way, slight tangent, Gary Oldman recently did an interview with Colbert, and he taught me a really interesting acting trick, which is if you want your character to look sinister, if he's looking down and he has to look up at a character, raise the head first and then the eyes. And I was like, oh shit, that works.
Second here. Just researching the secrets of the universe.
There's something on the wing. Yeah, I love the way Shatner talks. Like, it's ridiculous, but it's charming.
Twilight Zone is great, but no, I love old Shatner. I think the guy is annoying as hell, but like his work speaks for itself.
Yeah, what was that? I don't remember if it was a tweet or another Tumblr post or what, but it said if Leonard Nimoy met Spock, the two of them would spend their time discussing philosophy and playing chess. Whereas if Captain Kirk met William Shatner, he'd beat the shit out of him in an Applebee's parking lot.
Wait, who's beating up who?
Kirk is beating up Shatner.
Okay, yes, but hot take. Sir Patrick Stewart's beating up Picard.
No, Sir Patrick Stewart and Picard are taking edibles together and watching Beavis and Butthead, because that's what Patrick Stewart actually does for fun. I'm not kidding. That's a real thing he does.
Well, yeah. Don't you?
I took it now so that it kicks in by the time the stream ends.
Jesus. I mean...
Because I did eat dinner already, so it will take a bit of time.
Speaking of media that is political but not progressive, Mike Judge is really good at that.
Yeah, he really is. Close-ups are also very useful for TV shows to hide the sets. Also helps with those subtle face movements. That's true. When I said he does the subtle eye acting, I'm talking about the non-close-ups where it would have been really hard to spot on more primitive TVs. Patrick Stewart is jacked and drinking fruity drinks by the pool for fun. Yeah, and I think Picard probably is too.
But Picard's a loser.
Also, Brandon Caff, I've never seen you in this chat before, so welcome. I think you're Alex's friend. Welcome to the show.
It's a crazy work.
Yeah, Applebee's parking lot is crazy work. By the way, regarding the sets of Star Trek thing, you know how I said there's a lot of shit you're not meant to see because of how old it is? One of them is that in one of the fights, I think Charlie X, I think the second episode, Spock gets thrown into a wall. Yeah, he does that. But he gets thrown into a wall, and there's actually some damage to the wall after he gets up. And I was like, oh, damn, I didn't realize the spaceship still uses drywall.
They just didn't anticipate it being that popular. But anything, that's a testament.
Well, not just popular, but also when your screen's 20 inches being watched from 6 or more feet away, probably in black and white, definitely in standard definition, it's okay that Kirk's stunt double has a beard.
This is the first time I've ever heard someone complaining about 6 feet and 20 inches. What are you doing, dude?
Yeah, I know, right?
When will be enough? When are you satisfied?
Yeah, like my TV is roughly 6 feet away from me, but it's a 55-inch TV, so I can see every fucking detail. And also, unlike modern shows, Star Trek was shot on film, and you can fucking restore film over and over and over again, like pretty much infinitely. They make these ships quick, fast, and cheap. Well, cheap doesn't exist in Star Trek anymore, but yes, they do make them quick.
I mean, no. You're wrong.
Amongst the Federation, cheap doesn't exist.
No, you're still wrong. Just because you didn't want to do the work and watch Deep Space Nine and realize that there's still a bustling economy going.
I know DS9 uses Latinum because not every fucking planet in the Federation has embraced.
Not every planet's in the Federation.
Yes.
But the Federation has to interact with them.
Okay, for the Federation, by and large, within the Federation, fuck you, you know what I'm saying? They don't use money.
Wow, the isolation of the Ferengi due to their cultural differences is wild. This is... I'm not sitting for
Alex
this.
sent me, and it's kind of funny because it's like watching my car conversations with him on a live stream. That's the point of the goal, or that's the goal of the show. What is the economy in Star Trek? Communist. Like, explicitly so.
So they pretty much eradicated most use for exchange of goods and services in the Federation, but they get to the awkward point also where, like, when the Federation is doing work trying to help planets that are, say, in like war-torn zones, obviously you have economies anywhere.
Yeah.
So
they have a supply of currency. They just don't have to break it out every day.
Yeah, and like they don't really like you don't gotta use it going to get a bagel, but like.
Oh, this is what Alex is asking. Where do they have money? Mostly in DS9, because DS9 takes place on like the fringes of the galaxy or the whatever it is.
Yeah, Deep Space Nine. Well, no, so it's not that takes place on the fringes of the galaxy. It's just you involve a species, the Ferengi, who used a gold pressed latinum as their main form of exchange, and a lot of things are done through non-official Federation channels. So like you have like people in a bar talking like, well, I have a mercenary, well, I have an assassin. Like you have a lot of ways people would exchange goods and services there. It comes up a little bit in Voyager, just because like once again we're not in the Federation at all. And then everything after that, like you can find it in like Lower Decks, for example. Or I don't really watch much Strange New World. I don't know what they did with the Ferengi, but I'm sure they probably did something with it there.
I do remember that in the Orville, which might as well be fucking canon to Star Trek.
It is. It just is.
They did explicitly credit the invention of matter replicators with making it way easier to embrace a non-monetary system.
Yeah.
I mean, replicators. So you know your Star Trek lore better than me. Do those exist in TOS? I think they do.
They're like shitty versions, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, because I remember in Enterprise, I think they could replicate like the basic matter, but they still needed a chef to put it together.
Yeah.
In Enterprise, they had a ship chef.
Wait till you get to Neelix in Voyager. That is going to be a trip.
Yeah, because I know, because by TNG, you can just literally say lasagna into the replicator, and it'll just like poop out a lasagna in 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, something I had this thought the other day. So in TNG, they reveal how all of the food, because they can fucking bioengineer anything now,
Yeah.
like pretty much all food is healthy for you.
Yeah.
Because like Troy literally has to, when she wants a chocolate sundae, she has to specify that she wants a natural chocolate sundae that isn't bioengineered to be healthy.
And that's not even touching the synthahol they have versus the alcohol.
Yeah, that too. So I was thinking, like, dude, can you fucking imagine how hard it is for parents in TNG to get their kids to eat their fucking vegetables?
Would it even be a thing?
Well, like they always kind of depict it as like being normal. Like you see little domestic squabbles, like parents trying to get their kids to eat dinner, and it's like, yeah, but your kids can then just logically say, yeah, but I can make myself healthy mac and cheese.
I think even the concept of family dinner, it's more all right, everyone just get what you want from the thing. And
Yeah, well,
like
logically it would be, but whenever we see them eating dinner, they're always eating the same meal together, like parents do in every other era of time.
how many families do we see?
Pretty often. Like we see Worf, if we include family, meaning like just a parent and kid. Like we see Worf and his son a lot.
Oh,
We see
Alexander.
O'Brien and yeah, we see O'Brien and his family. Um, I'm sure you get to see more of that in DS9. What with like Cisco being a dad being one of his important things.
Well, you get to see more of O'Brien. O'Brien comes back.
Yeah, that's true. I think it's important to share a meal, even if you could have whatever you want. Yeah, I think that's why. That's the thing is like a lot of cultural norms seem to have persisted in Star Trek, not out of necessity, but just out of like they're good for human beings to interact that way.
I guess I don't know why the kids would have such a problem with it then. They'd probably just be down.
Yeah, and of course, then there's the argument I've made a million times, which is that if your kids won't eat their vegetables, it's because you don't know how to cook.
Yeah.
Now, the real question is when you say into the replicator, like one slice of pepperoni pizza. Like I assume that it beforehand you have to fine tune it a ton so that it makes like the specific pepperoni pizza you're looking for.
But something like that, I think you just kind of get your order down.
Yeah, I think so. But then it's like sometimes I'm in the mood for the pizza from one place and sometimes I'm in the mood for the pizza from another. So I hope they have like different presets.
They do. I forget when, but it's definitely come up where you can be like,
Yeah.
give me the same croissant. I'd get the Chateau La da.
Also in Orville, it looked like they still had to cook if they wanted the food to taste just how they wanted, so they probably printed the raw material and cooked those. That seems to be what happened in Enterprise, at least. By the time of Next Gen, the replicator can just create an entire meal.
I'd enjoy just raw printing a steak, but I wouldn't really I wouldn't really enjoy printing like a cooked steak.
So I know a bit about DS9. Cisco's dad is a chef, isn't he?
And Cisco's a chef. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
Cisco's insistent he will not use a replicator. That's like one of his weird quirks.
Yeah, because doesn't he say like, "Nah, I can taste the difference"? Like, doesn't he say something like that?
Yes. Yeah, and everyone around is like, okay, buddy. But then he starts hosting like dinners, and they're like, okay, maybe we just don't know how food works anymore.
I think of that the scene from of all things, the live action Cowboy Bebop from Netflix.
Jesus
where
Christ.
where the dude's trying to cut his steak and like because it's synth beef, they got it mostly right, but not entirely, and he's like bitching that they couldn't breed a couple cows.
I know I still haven't taken the time to see the live action Cowboy Bebop, but I was
It's not as
told
bad as everyone says. It's got issues, but I liked it well enough.
I think it's more that one actor. I can't take him seriously in that role.
Oh, John Cho.
Yes, it's just him being
he does
there.
really good though. He does good in that role. That's
It's
the
just
thing.
one of those things that pulls me out.
Even the people who didn't like it all had to admit the cast was really good.
Okay, no, that's fair. That it was a cohesive story.
Yeah, I would have liked to see season 2, given the way that season 1 ended, but fuck me, I guess.
Yeah, you kind of gotta go fuck yourself on that one.
Yep. The fucking woke mob took it away. Obama took away my live action Cowboy Bebop.
Thanks, Obama.
Obama. Picard says something similar about wine. Yeah, because Picard's the son of like
A wine.
Yeah, like sommelier or whatever.
Well, no, he like lives on a vineyard.
Yeah. Speaking of Cowboy Bebop, y'all see the CGI Trigun reboot? I did not. Let me look that up while I'm here.
I did not. Give me 1 second.
Okay, yeah, it's a new anime. I thought you meant Trigon, the villain from Teen Titans, for a second.
No, Trigon? No, Trigun.
Yeah, because there was a CGI Trigon briefly in the live-action Titans show, so I was like, wait, hang on.
How would you even make a story about that? Isn't he like a worse version of Satan?
Basically. And also, because it's live action and therefore the effects cost money, most of the time he appears, he does so in human form.
Are you fucking serious?
Well, yeah, because, hey, dude, it costs money to animate a fucking 20-foot tall CGI demon monster.
Yeah, but my dad, James Gunn, could do it.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Speaking of, by the way, since we're getting near-ish to the end of the show, we can say fuck Star Trek and talk about James Gunn.
James Gunn!
So, James Gunn...
My dad.
Yeah, so you've seen all of the new season of Peacemaker, right?
Oh, yeah.
Actually, this does relate to Star Trek, so it's on topic.
Nice.
So the new season of Peacemaker several times, at least I'm assuming they did, because why wouldn't they? Reused some CG assets from Superman, and
Just like Star Trek.
yeah, like the kaiju that he and his family fight, and then at the end the black hole, or not the end, but in the last episode.
Yeah.
And okay, so I will not spoil because at least one person in the chat has not seen it. So anyway. Well, no, all I'm saying, they reused some CG assets. And unlike most of the time, I found that really charming in this instance. Because it reminded me of Star Trek. It reminded me of how, like, they have the same 4 establishing shots of the Enterprise, and they just cycle through them endlessly every fucking episode.
Bro, just give me that one. Dun, 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 and you show up. That's all I need. I know what kind of day it is. It's another day.
And also, like, it's not really cheap. You have the fucking CG asset of the big kaiju monster. Why not use it again, right?
That's what it's for, isn't it? Like,
yeah, and like, I mean, I don't know a ton about the study of black holes, but I assume that one black hole probably looks very similar to every other.
I believe it's called a donatology.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's a race joke in there that I don't get.
That was actually a little bit of a more complicated one, but it was better than a race joke.
Yeah, you're right, Alex. It's why Hulk still looked pretty good in She-Hulk, because they could mostly reuse the existing CG asset. They just had to tweak it a little.
Was this also a twerking Hulk? I didn't see this.
Oh no, Hulk himself appears in the She-Hulk show, like briefly. Not briefly, but like not in every episode.
Why?
He's her cousin.
Yeah, but like, what does he have to do for the story?
Well, he has to accidentally bleed in her open head wound and give her powers.
Oh, okay.
And then from there, he also has to like teach her the basics of how to handle the Hulk abilities.
Okay.
And yes, She-Hulk is much better than Titans. Though I liked it more than most people did. The twerking thing, yeah, he has nothing to do after the first 10 minutes. Well, yeah, that's why he's mostly in the first 10 minutes.
That's what I would say. Like, what would you have to do? Like, you wouldn't have much to do here.
Yeah, no, he's only in like the pilot and then briefly the finale.
Okay.
But so the reason She-Hulk twerks, it's literally just a throwaway joke from like the mid-credit scene of that episode.
Really?
Yeah, so she's a lawyer, right? She represents clients, And after becoming She-Hulk, she starts to do a lot of representing of superpowered clients.
She always looks like She-Hulk, right?
She doesn't have to. She can turn it on and off at will. She just usually stays as She-Hulk because she likes that form.
Okay.
Why wouldn't you want to be 6'6" and really muscular?
Because there's no personality split here.
No. So that's the thing. She's not mentally fucked up like Bruce was, so there's no split personality. She's the same personality in either body.
So she's Grey Hulk, pretty much.
Yeah. Kind of.
Okay.
So, so one of the clients, or one part of the case in one episode, is a shapeshifter who shapeshifted into Megan the Stallion and like impersonated her and like stole money from people or whatever. I don't know. It's been a few years, but she's like, "Oh shit, I get the opportunity to meet Megan the Stallion. Like that's cool." And so Megan the Stallion plays both herself and this shapeshifter in her form. And at the end of the episode, the real Megan the Stallion shows up at Jen's office to like thank her for getting her money back or whatever. And then they like have some drinks and party together. And so in the little montage of them partying together, very briefly, there's a shot of both of them twerking together.
Well, that's fun.
And like that's it. And for some reason, everybody fucking latched onto that and made it a meme for the last 4 years.
Because who does not latch on to big women twerking? Rhea Ripley did it and made a career. What do you want from me?
Yeah. No, the She-Hulk show was like better than it wasn't like the best thing ever, and it had issues, sure, but like it was better than most people say.
Man, I just want more James Gunn shows.
Well, we're getting more.
What am I getting?
So they're not all done directly by James Gunn, but they're all overseen by him.
Sure.
Well, we're getting the new Supergirl movie, but that's not a show. As for shows, we're somewhere along the way. We're getting another season of Creature Commandos.
Okay.
We're getting the Lanterns show, the Green Lantern thing.
Are we getting anything for Constantine?
In that universe, I don't know, but let's find out.
Let's find out.
Yeah, because they are supposedly working on a sequel to the Keanu Reeves Constantine.
I heard this.
I don't know if that's actually true, but
praise our Lord, Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, I mean, fuck it. I don't know. I never actually saw it. I have a friend who loves Constantine, and as a result, fucking despises that movie.
That's fucking hilarious. Like, I love the character, and when you watch it, it's like a lot of those early 2000s superhero movies where it's like, I can't blame you, actor, but I blame you, Hollywood studio. Yeah. Like there are a group of people who I hate because they never picked up a comic in their fucking life.
Okay, so what? So for movies, what we know for sure is coming, because Superman's out. What we know for sure is coming is Supergirl and Clayface, both of which are tentatively scheduled for next year.
Oh, guys, I'm just gonna throw out my thing on stream here, and I'm gonna be careful. Just think about Clayface a lot.
Yeah.
I've been bringing this up lately. Think about Clayface a lot.
Yeah, you're completely right. So then we're getting Man of Tomorrow, which is like he's acting like it's not just a sequel to Superman, but it definitely is a second Superman movie.
Okay.
We're getting The Authority at some point, Brave and the Bold at some point, Swamp Thing, and another Wonder Woman movie. By the way, these are, other than Clayface and Supergirl, these are just in development. They're not like filming yet.
Okay. What's The Authority?
It's like the superhero, the engineer from Superman. She's part of, yeah, here we go. The Authority.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know much about them myself, honestly.
I want James Gunn to show me his dick.
Like his own dick, or one of the characters that you just...
I want to see a real quality James Gunn dick. Grayson.
Oh, okay.
Get your head out the gutter. What do you mean?
Yeah, well, that Brave and the Bold movie supposedly... Well, no, not that one. There's supposedly gonna be an animated movie about Nightwing and Jason Todd, Robin.
What? Okay, that's what I want. I want that.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Though that's unclear if it's like part of this universe or if it's just one of the like direct-to-video ones they always do.
True. Just like an offhand throw. Are they still doing that other world where it's like the focus on Loki, Damian Wayne?
No, that one ended finally.
Okay.
By the way, there's other stuff listed here, as you can see, but that's all like stuff where we don't know when it's coming out and therefore could get canceled.
True.
Though I am excited to see Sergeant Rock, because I really love all the weird, obscure, kind of stupid DC characters. Not that Sergeant Rock is stupid, but like he's not mainstream, you know.
Yeah, he's just there. I want to see if they Well, weirdly, I want to see those pilots get a little thing.
The Blackhawks?
Yes.
Yeah, I want to see that too. By the way,
Booster
Alex says that
Gold?
the Authority are like the Justice League, but a lot more cruel and oppressive.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is again like, not all of this is anywhere past development, but Lanterns is. Like, we have set photos from Lanterns, so we know that one exists.
Okay. And like we're just doing a whole bunch of lanterns.
It is definitely here. I'll see if it has enough information. I know it's focused on Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart,
Nice.
and they're calling it like a detective story. And the set photo, the one they keep showing, the officially released one, is just Hal and Jon walking down a dusty desert road together.
Huh.
So it almost looks like it might be a loose adaptation of like Hard Traveling Heroes or something.
That could be sick.
Yeah, I mean, I fucking not that I dislike the Arrow show, but it is much more similar to Batman than comic book Green Arrow. I'd kill for a fucking proper live action Green Arrow.
Give me a Green
Not the
Arrow that's
Smallville
just
one.
like give me an extended JLU Green Arrow.
So the premise: the Green Lanterns are intergalactic peacekeepers who wear rings that give them extraordinary powers. The series follows experienced Lantern Hal Jordan, and new recruit Jon Stewart as they investigate a murder in Nebraska, which leads them to darker mysteries and reckonings.
As someone who lived in Nebraska, that checks out.
Yeah,
that checks out.
I guess Tom King is involved in it. You can take from that what you will. It's up to you whether that's a good thing.
It's just kind of a thing.
And Guy Gardner will be in it as well, just not as much of a main character. But no, he's listed under main, so.
Damn you, Guy Gardner!
I'm actually learning some of this. You met who once? Nathan Fillion or the character of Guy Gardner, Alex?
Yeah, because Nathan Fillion would be cool. Did you ask him about Firefly?
Oh God, I'm sure he's sick of Firefly questions.
He's so sick of Firefly questions.
I do, I hate to bring up Harry Potter because, but
speaking of other offensive Jewish stereotypes.
Yeah, I do really commend Daniel Radcliffe for a comment he made in an interview once where he said, "No, I'm always happy to talk about Harry Potter. I wouldn't have what I have without it. So no, I'm never sick of Harry Potter questions. I'm happy to answer them." Oh, Tom King. Alex met Tom King once. Oh. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he's a nice guy, but he's also one of the architects of the Iraq War. So, sorry. I mean, like, maybe he feels bad about it, but, like, he is still kind of a war criminal. He might be a great writer. I've read a few of his comics.
Who among us hasn't committed a couple war crimes?
I read his Strange Adventures, and I read his Rorschach thing, and they're both pretty good. I've heard really good things about Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, which is like going to be one of the main sources for the Supergirl movie.
Did you see the new Watchmen?
The animated ones? Not yet, no.
It does a better job with Rorschach.
I do love the Watchmen TV show, the HBO one.
I just didn't watch enough of it. I have to go back.
Yeah, so it actually, the Rorschach comic is part of the same continuity as the HBO show because it briefly mentions, like, oh, that thing in Tulsa last year.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, which is, it's mostly an original story.
All I remember from that show is they took the guy with the black hood and he was a black guy.
Yeah, which I don't remember if they're the first to do that. I think they are.
At the same time, it gave me wait, isn't that the same fucking thing that The Boys did?
Well, The Boys had Black Noir.
Is Black Noir in the TV show the same thing as the comic?
No.
Okay, that's what. Yeah.
Yeah. What was? Oh yeah, I think the original. I had to look over at my copy of Watchmen to remember what I was talking about. I think in You know how the Watchmen comic has like the blurbs at the end of chapters that are like excerpts from news articles or like remember how they had that?
Yes.
So I think in one of them, when they're talking about Hooded Justice, they talk about the fact that unlike most of the other superheroes, we never learned who he really was under there.
Oh.
And there was a thing that said like, speculations abounded that he was a Nazi spy or blah blah blah, and then it says or even possibly a colored man because it's the 50s.
Yeah.
So I don't think Damon Lindelof and company invented the concept of him being black under there, but I think they like canonized it.
That's just the way they chose to go.
Yeah, well, it did. They didn't have time for this in the episode, but they explained it in interviews. That the reason, so in the comic, Hooded Justice is referenced as having been a supporter of Hitler before the war started.
Okay.
And everyone's like, why the fuck would a black guy be a supporter of Hitler?
Oh, that's a very complicated question. Yeah.
Well, yeah. So what? Just to give it a quick answer, the answer Damon Lindelof gave in an interview was that in order to completely assuage any suspicion that he was secretly black under there, he figured he'd do the least black thing he could.
He did a Dave Chappelle.
Though, there is I guess you didn't watch the whole thing. One of the episodes opens with a flashback to his father in World War One.
Okay.
And they're like just they're not in battle, they're just marching, and then all of a sudden they hear planes flying overhead and a bunch of leaflets fall down. And they pick them up, and the leaflets this is, a black regiment because army was segregated. So all these black soldiers pick up the leaflets and they all say, like, why are you fighting for a country that hates you? The German people don't hate you the way the Americans do. Like, and Alex is right when he says Watchmen always had racially political undertones that the series brought to the forefront. Yeah.
100%. 100%.
So yeah, that flashback that I just described never comes back, really. I think it's literally just there to offer another partial explanation for why a black guy might be sympathetic to American adversaries.
Okay.
And also, you and I don't necessarily have to stop talking, but we've been going for a while and I can feel my edible kicking in, so it might be a good idea to end stream.
Oh, sounds like a plan. Well, in that case, we should probably sign off.
So I'm going to end stream, everybody, because if I don't, I'm going to say something I regret in a minute. I'll be back on Tuesday when we can talk more about Star Trek and racism.
Star Trek and racism. Woo!
Take care, everyone. Drink your fucking water. Take your goddamn pills. Change your colostomy bags. Whatever you need doing. Nighty-night. Keep your butthole tight.
Keep it.